live now.
You're
Maybe.
you're not sharing visit.
Oh.
Camera.
I went and got my eyes checked last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might get contacts. I don't know. I get my new glasses next weekend. But they have trial contact lenses for me to try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out.
I wear contacts.
Oh yeah?
Newly wear contacts this last 2 years.
I need to get I need progressive. I wear progressive lenses. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have progressive or multifocal contacts? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me if I'm getting too personal. Okay. I don't want to, we don't need to get into our medical history.
That's fine. You're fine. You're good.
Okay.
This one's bugging me today. I've been shooting it with Visine all day because it feels like it's doing something weird. So
yeah, I was curious about that. So yeah, the physics, the whole like how contact lenses work.
yeah.
You gotta, yeah, that might be my new obsession.
Yeah.
Like I get it like regular, but like what about progressive contacts because or multifocal? Because I understand how the progressive lenses work because they're just shaped different from top to bottom. But when you're wearing a circular contact lens,
Well, they tell you up front you don't see as good.
Oh, okay. So it's not that great.
It's not that great.
Okay. I'm just curious. I've gotten used to glasses. I've had them for I don't really know. I don't really know.
I went blind all of a sudden in like 2019. Like my vision just was gone. Or maybe it was 2018. My vision just like I couldn't see very good. So I went and got glasses.
Okay. So you said gone. Now you're saying you couldn't see very good. I was like,
were
you like running into things?
I needed like progressive lenses. Like
yeah.
I just went from seeing great to not really seeing great. So
yeah, for me, I think it was gradual. And then one day my brother-in-law was like, saw me reading my phone, but I was like holding my phone like really far away.
Yeah.
He was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm, checking out the game or like the scores, or whatever. But he was like, you might need glasses. And I was like, oh yeah. Yeah. I was like, that's right. That's weird. I can't, because to me, I could see things when they were further away.
Yeah.
But not up close. So I just moved them further away, Oh, it's also, part of my part to keep people far away. But anyway, so I went and got I think we were at the dollar store like that same day or something, And I was like, look, they have these reader glasses. I'm going to get a pair. They're only $1. And I bought $1 a pair of reader glasses. Literally, it's like $1 plus tax.
That's funny.
And then I looked at my phone and I was like, holy shit. Yeah. Look at that. I was like, wow, I didn't realize I needed glasses.
Yeah.
And then my eyes were burning, and I would get these spells where my eyes would be burning and feel like hurt. And what I did was I went to an ophthalmologist because I thought I had some kind of eye disease. I don't know. It just hurt so bad. And my eyes were always red and and he was just like, well, you just need glasses. You're just straining your eyes. And that does it. So anyway, to continue on this exciting journey of eye care, I then, recently I realized, wow, the same thing's been happening. I've been my eyes have been really hurting. I haven't been able to see right. I was like, I started having the same thoughts of I wonder if I have some kind of eye disease and I need to go see a doctor. I was like, oh no, I think I just need to get new glasses.
Yeah. New prescription.
Yeah. And I went to one of these discount places, they're always, I saw these ads on Facebook. I went there and then, so I thought I was going to get a really sweet deal. And then they tricked me when I went in, they were like, were you here to get the contact lens test too?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I was meaning to ask about that. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll do that. And then because I did that, the deal did not apply.
You should go to Costco.
I think that's where I might go for contacts once I get the prescription and test these trial lenses out.
They usually have an ophthalmologist too in there, and they have the fancy machine that reads like the retina behind your brain and stuff.
I think that's an optometrist.
Okay, optometrist.
Yeah, like an ophthalmologist, I think is like a real MD that like, like might even like do surgery on your eyes, things like that. And an optometrist is like, I guess measures is like that's when the test I had, I went into this room. Well, first a guy like put this thing in my face and took pictures. And then I went in this room and all of a sudden there's this, there's like a Indian doctor, like, I think he was an American, but he had a thick Indian accent and he did the test like with the machines.
Oh, okay.
So I think, I guess he's an I don't even know who he is,
Yeah.
She's like, wow, look at this. So he had control of the machines and he was the one asking me the questions.
Yeah. The questions fast. It's like, it's hard to, I don't like that dog. It makes me nervous. I'm always worried that I don't have the right prescription because I'm just like, I guess I said the right thing or the wrong thing.
Yeah, they do ask you a lot of like, is this better? Is that better? And I'm like, my nature is like, what is this, some kind of fucking trick? Like, is this guy trying to trick me?
Exactly.
I'm not joking. I'm like, this is some kind of test, like insurance test, to make sure I'm not trying to pull a scam. But, or it's just so close. I don't know. I don't know which one's better. But anyway.
Well, good. So you're going to try the contacts. It's a little weird at first, like touching your eye. I remember I felt like I was out, like trying to get it out, but it takes a couple weeks, but it's
yeah, it does. She muted to yell at her dog. Let me see. I should probably Manny, you doing okay there, buddy? Or you're still struggling? Must be. Manny's having audio problems, so it's just me and Quana and her dog, large dog, barking in the background.
We got Manny. Still nothing.
Dang, if he can't get his stuff together, we might have to go, get in some deep stuff tonight. Some deep one-on-one thoughts and feelings and whatnot.
Christopher, you're so funny. I was hoping that you would bring the funny tonight. You make me laugh the most out of anyone on the internet.
I doubt that's true.
No, all of my laugh reacts are legitimate. Like every laugh react I've ever sent you is the real one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. No, hold on. Moman's back. I appreciate it.
Good.
I too appreciate your zany go at 'em style on the internet. You yelled at somebody today.
Just guys, a lot of those guys are so whiny. Ugh.
Yeah, it's like some of the Gina stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I don't always disagree, but it's like, all right, like kind of like, like posting about it all the time is there's a fine line. There's a fine line between it being kind of funny, like, or clever, and it being kind of pathetic looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them have crossed it. Like, we get it. You hate her. A lot of them hate women in general, I feel like, but.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I would just say a lot of them have very confused feelings. I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. As a dude, I think I'm a pretty good dude, but I do have a douchebag streak, at times. So, we're dudes. We can be stupid sometimes, but it's all about, tamping that down. Yeah, knowing when it's too much,
Yeah.
knowing when you're like making too many negative posts about some woman you don't know.
Yeah.
To a group of people you don't know.
And she's not in there.
Yeah. And then you started off, you address her in the beginning of the post.
Yeah, that's the part that always gets me. Gina's not here. Like, take that shit somewhere else, you negative fuck.
There are some that make me laugh, though. You know what I mean?
That's true. You're right. I should be less harsh.
You know what I mean? I wish. Yeah. I mean, you're on our podcast now. You might wish someday for like a lot of negative attention.
That's right. That's right. Any attention, I would take any attention at this.
Yeah. Like bunch of dudes out there that hate your guts, but like listen to everything you say.
I would love that. That's my goal.
Yeah.
My goal.
Yeah, I think that's just like dudes over douching it. Can you do that? Is that is that possible to say that on the box? The douche box, like, be careful, there's a time limit to this douching.
I don't know.
Whatever that is even is, I don't even know if they make those anymore.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have weird, I don't know, I'm weird flashbacks to some like, yeah, I don't know. Grew up in the 70s. Mom had stuff hanging around in the shower or whatnot.
Oh boy. Yeah, you know what? I think I remember that.
Like, they looked like medical equipment medical level type shit, like things that. Yeah, I remember this one. I mean, I'm not going to talk. I don't describe it, but it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if that thing still exists in this world today. It was like, it's just being used in like a third world country.
Yeah, for water, possibly Voda bag type.
Yeah, that's what. That's kind of. Yeah. You can store liquid in it. Yeah. Oh, here comes Mole Man. Let's see if he's got some a working microphone in 2022. Hello.
You better lay down. I'm not doing this with you tonight.
I thought I could hear him. No, I guess not. It's got that weird little circular mirror in the back on the wall too.
Oh yeah, I was wondering what that
was. It's like, oh, there.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see the back of your head.
Okay. My friend was over, and his wife is a dirty whore cheater, and he's like, on the swiper or whatever, and
okay, hold on. We're gonna let you go. We're just gonna breeze on by the dirty whore cheater part, but he's on the swiper.
Like like Facebook has a dating app, and then
okay, dating apps, okay,
or whatever. Like, do you like the little?
Is that what the kids are saying? Like, he's on the swiper?
No, but like that's what he's always like.
He's just always. Oh, okay. He's always just.
Or and he says, don't do that way. Like, don't. I don't know how it works. But I was telling him that, like, he's got to shave his head because, baloney patches and stuff in the back. He was offended. Like, I guess that's not something that you say to guys about baloney patches, but it better me say it than
a baloney patch. I never heard that described before, but yeah.
Okay. Well,
maybe he just wasn't ready to hear that yet. You know what I mean? I mean, you're everybody can imagine, like if one of your good friends, like someone you really know, really cared about you, they could come up and say some shit to you that you'd be like,
Yeah.
leave now, leave right now.
Yeah, that's what happened. But he was at my house, so he had to stay.
Last week, man, he was sitting outside with his phone.
I know.
Things went swimmingly. Now he's inside. He's rocking a gold chain. He's like throwing his hands up in the air. He's
Hey, Manny, how about you just
swearing to the anime gods. What should he do?
take the headphones off and speak into the.
Yeah. You know what? I think that I think I probably wear headphones so that the rest of my household doesn't have to hear everything. Because my son might be like at the door right over here any time now.
Oh, right. Hear filthy words.
But I think Zoom gets rid of that feedback loop.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
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 Mm-hmm. Manny, that chain is tits, literally.
Need to put something. You need to put like a mask on the back of your head because we can see it perfectly in that little mirror. Hey, what's up? What? 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 Ah, I shouldn't have said anything.
That's a little Coke mirror. I can tell it's so small.
Yeah.
So you're sending Christopher in his little his little Hellion clothings for school.
Yeah, he's continuing. Yep. With his look. Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. First football game is tomorrow morning.
Wow. I'd love to hear about the cheerleaders, how that went. What were his thoughts after?
He had almost none. But I mean, obviously they're having thoughts, but they're not going to share.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because they're both group, you know, the girls and the boys are looking at each other, and I'm sure they're all noticing all of them. They're all scanning and, you know, noticing everything. They're communicating. You know what I mean?
Together?
No, it's from all over the area, so it could be really random. Yeah. Yeah. So it's possible that like every kid on the team and every cheerleader goes to a different school.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so they're communicating, I think, in a way. You know what I mean? Like through body language, whatnot.
Yeah.
But you know, there was no actual talking, no actual like verbal communication.
That's
going back and forth. I don't know. It's cute. It's cute to watch. It's cute to watch. So
yeah. What grade is he in?
5th. Yeah. And it's like a cultural thing here too.
I say start him young in Texas, the cheering.
It really for football and for cheer, you know, really young. And like there's some kids have been playing tackle for like 3 or 4 years even at age 10. Yeah. Yeah. They start them young. It's kind of a cultural thing. And like every year they keep setting records with the most kids signed up.
Wow.
In this Frisco football league. And then I hear the same with all of the local middle schools where they're having to have like A, B, and C teams because so many boys are signing up for football.
Yeah.
It really is a cultural thing. Like, are you playing football? Yes. Okay. And you know, like so many kids are saying yes, that it's like, that just gets even more kids.
Yeah.
Or even kids that were like, yeah, maybe I'd rather just play like something else or try something else. They're like, no, I gotta stick with my team or whatever. So
yeah, I think kids or the parents today are probably trying to make their kids a little bit more grittier too, maybe, you know.
Yeah, it's hard. I can't really say. Because I have to admit I live in an area, like I live in Texas, where it's like everyone has the means and the time to like dedicate like the last month it's been 4 days a week he's been practicing. Like Monday, Wednesday, Friday nights plus Saturday mornings. So And then with games, they'll be practicing at least 3 times a week plus the game. So it's like, yeah, I think so. It's hard to say, but I don't, I don't know if that's true in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But it would make sense. Maybe that's amplified here because it is kind of an area that is,
Yeah.
would react, a little bit harder to
Hey, hello, can you hear me?
things. Hey, there he is. What's up, man?
Ah, it's about time.
Just
Good
in
to be here.
time. Just
What
in
am I
time.
in
We're
time
just gonna, we're about to quit. Just kidding.
Well, have no fear. Mole Man's here. Let's do this.
There's no quit in this podcast unless we have something better to do. Let's take a quick break. I'm going to take a quick break before we get started.
Sounds good.
All right.
Oh, and then she's going to take a quick break, real quick break. But I'll be right back. Manny, sing a song or something?
I'll
Just in
find
case.
something to do.
Okay.
Manny,
What's up?
how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in. Where are you at?
I'm off camera finishing off what was left of my herb before we get back to it. I'll be back on camera in a moment.
Are we still live though?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Well, we're not
I'm
allowed.
sorry.
Is that the deal?
Oh no, I just can't smoke. I don't want to smoke indoors.
Oh, gotcha.
But if you want, go ahead and smoke away. Ah.
How are you?
Nicely toasted. How are you?
I'm working on it.
That's what's up. I'm telling you, man, all this equipment, none of it's working properly. I just took a cue from what Chris said about how last week I used my phone outdoors. I was like, I guess I gotta do that.
Oh, you're on your phone now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Chat on Instagram or on YouTube.
Who's on InstaTube?
I said, how do you check the chat on YouTube?
Oh no, I haven't. Would you like to hop on it? Check it out. See what the people are saying.
I don't know how to get on it.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, maybe I can, since I'm not using my computer. I'll just move a thing or two and plug a thing or two in.
Uncle. Okay, I see it. Hi, Monkey's Uncle.
What up, Monk?
Yeah, Chris is rocking a mullet, isn't he?
I didn't know Chris had a mullet.
Well, I mean, it looks like he's letting it get a little bit like it's, I don't know, like a little bit long and fuller in the back.
I want to fix that with my issue, as you saw earlier. If it's even possible.
What'd you say?
I want to fix my issue that you saw earlier, if it's even possible.
Oh boy. Well, those are just parts of life. You might have to shave it. Bald is beautiful. Bald is beautiful, Manny.
I guess so.
Hello.
Hello.
All right.
What's up, Foo?
Monkey's uncle wanted to know about your mullet.
This fool. What?
Monkey's uncle wants to know about your mullet.
It's not a mullet. Is it?
He says you got a little flip going on in the back.
Not yet. Oh yeah. I got some like tails going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to my last haircut. Something happened, and my kids were making. My son made fun of me. He said the back of my hair looked like Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. Is that bad?
Well played. Well played.
Well played. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Will you ever go greasy to dye it, or will you go natural?
No, I don't think I could ever put something in my put dye in my hair. No.
Somebody noticed that Ace is like dyeing his hair a different color. Maybe it was like a little bit more auburny.
It'd be a tough. I mean, if I had like a crew of people around me that were like, you could increase your income, and like,
Do you think
and like, hey, here are the stats. The stats show that if we go 2 shades darker, like you'll get 10% more viewers or some listeners or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. If you're in show business, you got people like in your ear, like telling you this is a really good idea.
Who are the people in his ear? Hey, your camera's not on, by the way.
Oh, whoops.
It just sounds like a Vance talking to us, which I personally find hilarious.
Yeah, it's this. I think when you go on the YouTube stream, it takes away your what is it? Your picture, your Zoom picture.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So if one of us bows out on YouTube, it just shows 2. I wonder, that's probably like some kind of protection because a lot of people don't, like in business settings, they don't think about what picture they're using.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, Monkey's uncle wants to know if that's Jaden on your shirt.
No, it's not. It's the Beatles featuring rapper Evidence.
Okay. All right.
Really?
Yeah.
Looks like 2. Can't make it out. Okay, so yeah.
Ready to go record this audio, sir?
Yeah, I don't really have too much, but yeah, I got a couple things to kick us off, and then just take it from there. Talk about a little life.
Life.
All right. Go ahead and start recording the audio, senor.
Oh yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for episode 120 of your Endless Ranters podcast. Thanks for watching, listening, and subscribing. We truly appreciate the support. My name's Chris, and I am one of your hosts for this evening. We got a little change up tonight. The other host we have for Endless Ranters tonight is the one and only Quana. Quana is joining us. Hello there. What up, Quana?
Hello.
Filling in for just taking that position from Robbie tonight because he's busy at a theme park. He's a Knott's Berry. No, I'm just kidding. We'll tell you later. Maybe we'll tell you later. And then there's the man with the plan. It's producer Manny. What's going down, old man?
What it do, nephew? Good to be here. How's everyone doing?
Pretty good, Uncle. Uncle Manny.
Uncle Manny.
Good to
doing
hear
all
that.
right. Doing all.
That.
I'm happy to see the both of you. I saw in the news they got like Sharia law going on up there in San Francisco in the Bay Area, like Northern California. Did you see that story? Like some lady got beheaded in the streets.
What?
Holy shit! No, I did not. That's
Oh
wild.
yeah. It's crazy.
My cable.
That's
Yeah, I guess yeah, like San Mateo, right? Is that like the San Francisco area?
It's close.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden Rob left town.
Oh,
Weird.
coincidence.
interesting. Took his whole family.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, listen, the family's my alibi. You got it. You got it.
Yeah. Some crazy story. Like, yeah, man, just like in broad fucking daylight. Broad daylight. There's like yesterday, this is Friday, Thursday, it was like maybe 5 minutes away from where I work. There was an armored truck. Really, it's an armored van. It's one of those crappy, like they say armored vehicle, but it was like a van, it's like an armor plated van, but it got shot up. And I saw the news alert, and they don't really have a lot of information, but then today they showed pictures, and like, there's a lot of bullet holes in this van. And it was just that it stopped in like a left-hand turn lane at a major intersection after it left a bank.
What?
Yeah, it's like, this is like 5 minutes away from me. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like there was like a heat style, like armored van robbery.
That's my favorite
I
movie.
hate to correct you, but those aren't bullet holes. They're speed holes, and they make the car go faster. So you just got in a bad time. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel better now.
Yeah.
I feel very confused, but I'm better. I guess extremely confused is what I'm feeling. Is better than fear. No, I'm not afraid but it's like, it's just kind of crazy because these things, I mean, again, statistically, so unlikely to happen to you, but like, damn, this is like a major freaking intersection at like 1 PM. Like people are going out to get like Wendy's and shit, just sitting like going back to work, like waiting for the light, like, oh, I missed this left-hand turn lane, damn it. And then all of a sudden, like, rat-a-tat-tat.
Was there any collateral damage?
No, the driver, I guess this van only had one driver because I guess the way you read the story, you assume like there's always two guys. Like in the movie, there's always two guys, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even a guy in the back counting the money.
Guarding it.
Yeah, guarding, like extra guarding, sitting in the back.
Yeah.
But I guess just one guy got injured. But they caught the guys like about 2 hours away out in Tyler in East Texas. They still haven't said how they caught him, but yeah.
Shout out to Tyler, Texas, keeping it real.
Yeah. So it's just crazy. Like people, like this, like I don't know. Like, you got to be careful out there.
Indeed. Thanks for the new warning or new fear unlocked. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. Well, don't worry. I think they caught. I'm not sure if they caught the guy yet that did the beheading.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's still on the run yet, but
Okay, that's good.
He'd probably go south. He'd probably head towards Manny. It's just better climate, a little warmer.
It's 105 here, so I mean.
Yeah, that's not.
It's currently raining.
That doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
He'd probably head to the coast and do some more. Anyway, speaking of that, the Queen is dead.
I know.
Long live the king. I don't know. Like, I don't get that because they say stuff that they say things in these circumstances that don't always make sense. They'd be like, long live the Queen. Like, what? Like, be like, the Queen is dead. Long live the Queen. Like, I'm not.
Are they saying that together? I thought that was before her passing.
I don't know.
Before.
But I have to admit that I've kind of, it feels a little something about it. Like there's something there. It's kind of, I was kind of exploring that the last couple of days because I've been interested in the British, the monarchy, I guess.
Yeah. Ever since you watched all 4 seasons of The Crown.
Is there you know what? Probably, I think so. If there's a 4th season, I was going to say there were 3 seasons, but there could be 4.
Okay, you caught me. I've never watched, so
yeah, I have watched The Crown. It's kind of interesting. I mean, these shows, like if you give yourself, there's a lot of shows There are a lot of shows on Netflix and all, like if you kind of like allow yourself, like if you're in a vulnerable moment, and you give yourself to you can get into them and they're well done enough to like keep you hooked.
Yeah.
They kind of put the little drama here and there to keep you like really, following through and moving on to the next season.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking about it. Yeah, it could just be like I was thinking you could be an atheist, but still appreciate the fact that many of our laws and traditions are based on Judeo-Christian values or values from any religion,
Yeah.
ancient religions before, so it's kind of like that. Like, yeah, I'm not a subject, but I kind of appreciate, especially like doing a job for 70 years. Like that's a long ass time.
That's wild. Yeah.
Like, and kind of being consistent.
Yeah.
Never flying off the handle on camera, at least,
Right.
Because you think 70 years is a long time without like someone like bringing a secret camera in and like catching you from around the corner, like giving it to the maid, like just like tearing into the maid with like really personal insults.
Right.
The kind of thing that make you look real bad.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's proper there. That's why Megan is such a, scandal, because it's just like you just wouldn't do that. Like it would be considered disrespectful or rude.
Yeah, it's or even maybe to something you're saying, the power of the institution to where people just would not do that. Like
the respect is,
Yeah, because people would definitely have the opportunity to slip something by and like do something, or so it could be so you're saying she could be could have been a total raving lunatic.
I'm not saying that, Chris.
But they had enough class to keep it secret. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it would be shocking if somebody that worked for her, like a hand person for her, it would be shocking. It would feel like that would be an honor to work for the queen, that you wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess there was a time where it seemed like every other day there was some kind of tabloid release of someone close to them, like kind of talking out of turn.
Right.
Isn't that what some of maybe your suspicions are based on?
Mine specifically?
Yeah, some of your theories.
I don't have any theories.
Some of those C theories. No, like, are just based on a lot of like really terrible tabloid stories. A lot of people like coming out and writing books.
Yeah.
Being interviewed for books.
Yeah. All right. Way to shit on my point.
No, well, no, to your point though, like it stopped. Right? Like I think after Diana, was tragically passed away by accident.
Right.
Just car accident, just careless driving.
Yeah.
It kind of toned down a little bit, maybe. Because maybe, obviously it's hard to do. Like it's.
Well, I think we've been more connected. Like there was maybe a little bit more fascination about that before, because maybe we weren't as all connected in Diana's time, if you will. And now that people see it and it's not as, I don't know, alluring, if you will.
Well, yeah, remind me. Yeah, because we were talking about that the last day or two about just kind of generations and how we experience these things. And yeah, we weren't all as interconnected at the time. There's the internet, but like not, the internet just keeps like, it's like every year or two, it's like a whole new monster.
Yeah. Like back then, I think I remember getting the news, on the news. And then I remember reading about it like in a People magazine or one of those type of.
Oh, yeah. Like just simply like way more visual, like watching, way less reading. And now it's probably, it's good. Yeah. Hadn't really thought about that, but it's got to be true. Like way less watching and way more reading or just pure listening.
Exactly.
So
yeah, pure listening.
But yeah, it kind of came and then it stopped, I guess, because of sympathy. And it was like, there wasn't as much drama to talk about.
Well, there's been some the last couple of years with Prince Andrew. Connection.
Yeah. Is it fair to say that, and again, I watched at least 3 seasons of The Crown, may or may not be aware of the 4th season, but like, I feel like they may have handled that a little bit better because the Queen was just like, all right, you're out.
Yeah.
Like, this is not good. Like, we can't have this shit again. Don't make me whack you in a tunnel. Don't make me have you whacked. So that she was just like, like, you got to go. Like, you're out, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'd say they kind of handled that better without, because there's a fine line, because, all of a sudden, if she was to, like, literally kick him out and like push him down a flight of stairs or something, then, she has the risk of like making him look sympathetic or, making her look bad. But
exactly.
I thought they handled that part okay.
Yeah.
But any day now the raid might come, of all the Epstein client list.
Oh, sure.
Any day now.
Sure.
I'm sure they're all real nervous. Like any day now, they might be working on all those. Once they get done with all the Trump warrants, then they'll start working on those warrants.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's only so many warrants to be printed out in one day at the warrant desk.
Fear not, patriots.
Yeah. So any day now, they'll be kicking down those doors. They'll be perp walking all those guys. Oh yeah.
Walking. Yes. According to some of the conspiracies, they've already been arrested. I mean, there were some wild things like in the middle of 2020, like that they had been arrested already. Like it's kind of when the QAnon stuff was going.
Oh, I haven't heard any of this, but I'm listening.
Yeah, like there was like the Queen was dead, and like there was all wild things going on. Yeah, so many rabbit holes, and I just remember looking down every one of them, kind of going a little bit crazy, like all of the information in my head. Now
So yeah, they could have been replaced.
Of course.
They could have been replaced by other people. So you mentioned, Meghan Markle. She's just the worst. Yeah, like she's the worst. Like so far, it's been a good 24 hours since the news, like 24, 36 hours since the news, where she hasn't like knocked over a casket or anything like that.
Yeah. You think she'll go to the funeral?
She can't help but be drawn to them.
Yeah, she hasn't taken a selfie with with anything,
Do you think she'll travel across the pond?
I think Meghan Markle, I think she is in England.
Oh, she is?
Again, I've watched The Crown. I know these things.
I think Harry went by himself.
They were both over there for they have some kind of Invictus Games, some kind of British Kingdom, something. But so they were all over there for the kickoff of that. So Harry did go to Scotland, and Meghan stayed behind.
Gotcha.
But as did William. He went to Scotland, and his wife Kate stayed behind.
Okay.
And again, I just hear these things in the circles I run in. Okay.
Yeah.
You run
I don't go searching this information out, but just the circles. So the rumors that Meghan was going to go with him, but then she heard that Kate was going to stay behind.
Oh.
And just kind of let, like the family members, like direct family, like kind of do their thing.
Right.
And I was like, it's kind of, and then so she was like, I better stay behind too, because then at least she's getting some sense, because she knows then it's like, you're going to look like a total B at that point.
Okay. Yeah. She probably does feel the eyes on her.
Yeah. If the next queen doesn't go, but you go, start taking your selfies, then.
Yeah. Well, she has her podcast to do too. So maybe.
Yeah. I mean, there's an army of people that you pointed out today that are relying on her to stay fit, stay focused on their podcast. It was like 28.
28 people.
You sent an article where
that was an absurd amount of people to work
28,
on one.
Yeah. Her Spotify podcast has got 28 people. Well, it's like if Spotify's given you like I mean, don't ask me, because if Spotify was like, we want to give you $100 million to do a podcast, and like really do it up, I'd be like, sweet. I'd be like, sweet. I'm gonna get a coupon to Zoom.
Yeah.
To a year subscription to Zoom, like I did this year. I'm gonna get it, and that's all I'm gonna do. Let's keep this laptop running and just net the whole. I'm just gonna net the whole $100 million. But I guess some people are like, I guess I should hire some people. Yeah, I guess I should take this $100 million from Spotify and hire some producers. And I guess she hired 28 people.
28 producers. That's a lot of people. Maybe some of them might be hair and makeup or something. Maybe it's just maybe that.
I'm kind of glad, because it draws more attention to the spectacle.
Yeah.
I really don't like it, like myself, when I start wishing failure upon people, like that's not good. That's not cool. But man, this lady's got to give it up. She's fine. She'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like she's got.
Thing in the circles you run in, there's a lot of Meghan Markle chatter and dislike. Is that
me?
Yeah. I mean, is your opinion?
I mean,
circles that you run.
It wouldn't be it would be proper for me to name names.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. House. Do you follow House and Habit? Does anybody follow House and Habit? She's not a fan either, and she's a big lover of the Queen.
No, she's not a fan either of what?
Of Meghan.
Oh yeah. I don't think. I mean, I don't think anyone is, right.
Okay.
Right. I mean, that's right. I mean, I think it's universal. She just hasn't figured out yet. So that almost makes me feel sorry for her, yeah. It's like, I said almost. I said almost, what I mean?
I'm just telling you, don't.
Yeah. And she must have no good friends. You know what I mean?
Maybe she's aware and just doesn't care.
Oh, I think she cares a lot about something, like to the extreme on one level, but then doesn't care about something else to the extreme on another.
I see.
But like a good friend would be like, hey man, you gotta tone it down a little bit. I gotta tell you, coming off as a real, it's not good. It's not good. Like whatever you're doing, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I know you're a good person. You got a good heart. I know but something you're doing is just not working.
Yeah. Fire her publicist, maybe.
Yeah. They're about to make a new Australia for you.
Do royals
and your family?
Is that a thing?
What?
Do royals have publicists? Yeah, right? She does. Of
course. Yeah.
Right?
I think yeah. I mean, I don't know if they might not call it a publicist, but some kind of assistant or, like a scheduler.
Like that, take it back a little bit or stay behind. Yeah. So maybe they're working for her. Maybe she has a new one. That's why she stayed behind.
Yeah. But I like that. I think I've watched some footage, some shows, commentators of people, kind of memorializing the Queen. And I think they've all put it really well. Like she kind of just stood for something. There's just something there. The tradition, a lot of it doesn't matter what, how you grow up in America, you're watching King and Queen stuff from the get-go, like cartoons, like Kings and Queen.
Not my Queen.
Yeah. You're watching that stuff. So it's kind of built on it. So it's like, there's just some fascination with it.
Of course. Palace.
Yeah. And then it's like, and then, my son was asking me today about their government. I was like, they have this Queen who I guess is the official head of state. So she's
it'll take the whole weekend. So get ready.
Yeah. It's like, let me get the whiteboard out, son. Let me roll the whiteboard out.
I thought you'd never ask.
Yeah, no, but I was like, first I was like, well, first of all, don't concern yourself too much with other countries, other inferior countries. First of all, like, don't spell their names with capital letters. Number one, I'm just kidding. That'd be rude. But what was I talking about? No, so I was like, yeah, but she's the head of state, so she's in charge. Technically, like she could do stuff. Like I guess, like technically, she could reset their parliament or
right.
pull the ripcord. But then like they could also like reset it real quick. Like They could overroll her really fast too, and then they could just be run out of the country. Like be like, all right, well, get out. Because there's like a symbiotic relationship. Is that the right word?
Possibly.
You lost me.
Symbiotic relationship, like they kind of like.
Oh yeah.
Like the UK needs her. Like it or not, like all the jewels, everybody's like, oh, those jewels were stolen from whatever. Like anybody here has made a diamond. Like, would you make a diamond in your backyard? Okay. Like, so, that brings a lot of like tourism to their country, like brings a lot of attention to their country. I don't know. It is a weird thing because a lot of like countries that England had, had colonized and like things didn't end that great.
Right.
But like they still have a weird feeling, as well. I mean, I guess we're one of those countries, but like some that are more recent, they still have weird feelings of, like, even though they're recent history,
Right.
Like not 1700s, but like early 1900s, their history is really bad. Like still have some kind of reverence for her. I don't know.
Maybe not.
That is a bit weird that you mentioned it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's like a lot of mixed feelings, but there's just something because they have to admit that, like, hey, part of like our, whatever it is, our books or the language, like the schedule, like we all like tea still, whatever, like biscuits.
Oh, I could leave tea for sure. I'm not a fan.
I like some, but sometimes.
I like these boozy teas.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when's Snapple going to come out with something? Some Snapple with peach schnapps, Snapple, peach schnapps.
Remember Snapple facts?
That's tough to say. Yeah, they probably, do they still have them?
I don't know.
But they have to be real careful with what kind of facts they. Anyway,
ironically enough, they're going to have a lot about Queen Elizabeth Snapple facts, at least recently. So
I'm kind of curious. I'm just curious, like how things will be now. Like, I guess it seems like they like Charles now. They loathe like that. It's another thing that's fascinating to me is like the mob. I mean, you can call it whatever, like mob like mentality towards people, things like, it wasn't that long ago where he was loathed. Charles was loathed, by most of the public because Diana died and all that,
And he was with the Camilla Bowles, right? There was like an affair or some sort of scandal.
Yeah, now they really like her.
Going to be, his queen.
Queen consort is what they're calling her. Her.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't. No, but they seem to like her now. They like her.
In the 90s, that was the drama. Was that
I know. Yeah. But there's also drama about Diana with like whatever, but maybe not the best time to talk about it. But it's like, he has a lot of.
When is the best time, Christopher? When?
Well, they have like 8.5 more days of mourning official day.
Okay.
Then we'll just talk all kinds of shit after that.
Okay.
We're gonna get dirty. We're gonna get real dirty.
It's on.
Real dirty. Let's start talking fashion, like start picking apart their outfit. No, I'm just kidding.
Shit, son.
But so that's fascinating to me that people's attitudes towards things. It could just be like, wow, like Charles looks different than he did 20 years ago. He's like, he just looks older and his mom just died.
Yeah, man.
So everybody's just like, oh, we're just glad you're happy. So maybe there's a part of him that's just like, you fuckers, like, I wish you would have thought that way about me 20 years ago, like 30 years ago,
Right. I guess if you just lay low for long enough, like the dirt kind of off you a little bit, maybe.
That I think as people get older, they realize like, yeah, everybody's a fuck up. Then it's like at the same time they represent the ideals. You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, Charles cheated on his wife and whatever, and did these things, and it's like people are pissed about it. It's like, oh, okay, if you're an alien coming down, you're like, oh, okay, these human people, they don't like that. They think that's bad. They think that's a bad thing. It's like, okay.
Yeah. But now they don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like also at the same time, people realize, like, as they get older, they realize, like, yeah, people, man, like a lot of people make a lot of mistakes.
You're right.
Big theme of life.
Mistakes.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Things work out. I think things work out,
I do too.
Things will work out for everybody.
Yeah.
If they only believe.
If they just believe.
If they don't stop believing.
Have a little faith. Try a little tenderness. What's the other ones?
Well, just a little.
Monkey's uncle's going off in the chat right now, so check it out.
Yeah.
How did they know Princess Diana had dandruff?
No. What joke?
They found her head and shoulders in the glove compartment.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so there's everyone's favorite monk.
Wow. There you go, Monkey's
uncle. Oh yeah, I'm rocking the mullet. Yeah. I don't think it's a mullet yet, technically.
No, that looks like a mullet, Christopher. It's good. I think your son is like inspiring you, or maybe you're inspiring him. But
yeah.
Oh wait, you guys go to the same barber. Never mind, it's just the same haircut.
No.
No?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I used to wear my hair used to be pretty long when I was younger, so I just don't feel like going as much to the barber lady.
Yeah.
There's that too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
is it usually a long wait, or why you just don't like it in general?
Just don't want to go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I was inspired. I took some inspiration from, you mentioned your son earlier, and I was talking about it earlier before we started recording.
We're going to be.
We couldn't hear you.
Well, it's probably a good thing then, because it's new for everybody. I'm planning on writing a movie. It's going to be produced by Endless Ranters. It'll be inspired by real events. It's going to take place in Chris's house, and it's going to be a few batches, or I don't know what you call bees. They're undead bees. They're zombies. All right, and they're going to be terrorizing you all night long. You got to make it through the night.
All right, I'll talk to him about it. Yeah, I'll talk to him about it.
Are the bees still an issue, or we've cleared up the bee issue?
I'm, as I've said, I mean, I won with the bees now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I haven't researched can bees change your DNA? I haven't researched that too much, but I mean, there might be something in it,
You're feeling.
Yeah, sometimes I go out in the morning and I'm just like staring at the plant. There's a basil plant, and there's these bees that come around. These bees, but they don't live here anymore, right?
Okay.
They come around. I just sit there and watch them. They're just like a basil plant will flower a little bit, and I also realized that's why the honey that we got from the bee guy, didn't taste right, because these bees are just not getting like good flower. Like they're not pollinating or like getting the pollen from good flowers. They're getting it from like wildflowers and like my garden herbs.
Mm-hmm.
So it just didn't taste sweet. Anyway, but I'm a one with the bees.
All right, but you rejected their honey. You got the honey from your house, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this honey was like up in our roof.
That's wild.
It is crazy. Yeah.
That's wild.
We got the discount beekeeper that takes the honey, but he did give us like a jar. But he had multiple trash bags, because he would just like, they just break this. They were just like reaching in and like ripping out chunks of honeycomb.
Oh no. That's why I like the bee lady, the Texas bee lady. Like she pulls out the combs and like places them in racks and like relocates the bees.
Yeah, she probably
like more of an experience.
Yeah. Well, she's the one with the bees, but I don't know. That seems like it'd be really expensive.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Not just for TikTok then.
We just wanted these bees gone. The guy had to come back at least three times, maybe a fourth time he had to come back.
Did he charge you?
See, I'm telling you,
Hell
we're
no.
set. We can make a sequel, 2, 3, 4 sequels out of this. I'm telling you, man.
No, he just did
and
a
we're gonna
really.
change.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry for messing up your.
It's all right. Keep going.
These bees, man. These bees have affected my attention span too.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
The attention span of a bee.
Yeah. Every now and then, they're just like I'm like,
Yeah.
feel like the urge to like go outside and like fly to the corner of the yard.
Okay. All right. They're so cute and fluffy. I always feel bad whenever I see a dead bee. I always feel like I somehow failed it. Like I just.
Nah, that brother in arms, he gave his life for the cause.
Yeah.
I have a bumblebee.
Don't feel bad. They wouldn't want that.
No, the bee movie really stuck with me. Like I just really I feel for the bee. Like I just want them all to be safe. I always in the pool. Like I let them out and let them dry off.
Yeah.
That's just me though, Christopher. It's okay if you killed a bunch of bees in your process of getting horrible honey.
I mean, some bees died.
Yeah.
Those of us that survived, we're stronger now.
Okay. Oh, so you're one with the bees and I gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, one of the little guys, he comes to my basil plant and then he's like, then he flies up and in another direction. But he always they'll fly because they're going back somewhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Hive.
There you go.
Hive.
Yeah. It's crazy. These skills we've acquired over the years. Anyway. Yeah. So, long live the king, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
Queen.
So, Monkey's uncle is saying you've had Manuka honey. Am I saying that right? Manuka honey.
I have some actually here at the.
This better be real honey from bees. This better not be some code like when they call it like mountain oysters.
It's amazing.
Like bull testicles. You know what I mean? Oh, it's real honey.
Monkey.
Yeah.
Me $5 because I've never had honey. Any honey.
Ever?
Ever.
Wow.
Why not?
I don't know. I've never.
Rocky.
No. I mean, I was raised poor. Like my mom was a 15-year-old heroin addict. So we stood in line for food. So there was never like honey for anything. So I never had it as a child. And as an adult, it just seemed sticky and messy. And my kids never had peanut butter and jelly either because I don't like sticky, messy things. So it's never been something that I bought. When I had COVID, my daughter brought like a big jar and I was like, I don't know what to do with it. Like I'm
just get a spoonful of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monkey's uncle's in shock. His head has exploded. He corrected me. Rocky Mountain oysters. I was worried that Manuka honey was going to be like not really honey. It was going to be like some kind of weird
hella expensive
substance.
too, man.
What's Manuka? Where's that come from?
It's supposed to have
let me see.
Infection thing because I had like an infection in my finger and somebody to get Manuka honey for it, but I went to the store. It was like $32 for a bottle of honey. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that kind of thing pisses me off. Like, look here, honey, producers of the world. Like, I mean, I'm not going to buy I don't want to get the cheapest thing of honey, but it's like, come on now. It's like the ones that are like 3 or 4 times.
Who says
the market where I purchased this from was at a reasonable discount. That's why I picked it up. It's from New Zealand. That's another probably reason why this shit is so expensive.
Yeah, they got good bees there. It's good life for bees down there.
It's raw honey.
I've heard it's good. I've heard it's good life. I've heard it's good place for bees to retire to.
I heard that's where the Nasonex bee went to go retire.
Probably. Yeah, that guy's loaded.
Shout out to the Nasonex bee. Anyway, what else you got, Chris?
Well, honey, yeah. So honey,
or Quana.
Yeah, it is a fascinating substance in that, like, it's like honey and pancake syrup and grape jelly. Like, it doesn't matter how much care you put into it. Like, a week later, it's all messy. You know what I mean? Like the nozzle is all messy, like honey. Somehow, like you could have one of those honey bears with the nozzle where you just squeeze the into your tea or whatever product, your oatmeal maybe.
Yeah.
Also delicious over vanilla ice cream. If anybody's never had that before, we can talk about that later. But like,
Honey,
it doesn't matter. You come back a week later and the side of that bottle is sticky. Like how? Like what? Like, does the honey jump around? Maybe.
It's the honey dwarfs that come to life in the middle of the night and they start
Mystery.
fucking with it. That's yeah.
It's like, same goes to some degree with like a ketchup, but like, ketchup, you can explain, like the ketchup nozzles always gets messy.
Yeah.
Like
Fucking
pancake
crunchy.
syrup bottle and a honey bottle, always sticky.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
You should try the honey, but it is kind of expensive.
I mean, I don't really know that I have any use for honey. What would I put honey in?
Tea.
Nothing, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it like that. Just enjoy a nice spoonful. Shit hits, man.
Well, didn't you say you put it on like a cut or something, like an infection?
Yeah, they said that it had like antibacterial properties to it. So.
That sounds about right. I've also heard that if you have allergies, one way is to eat like a spoonful of local honey every day.
I've heard that.
Because something like you're basically like making yourself immune to your local pollens and allergens.
Right. Maybe. Yeah. I've heard that.
But I've only heard that from people that sell honey.
Well, you must also run in honey circles because you are well versed, well knowledge. And
yeah, we talk a lot of like royals, talk a lot of honey.
Yeah.
A lot of bee talk, a lot of buzzing.
Yeah. A lot of tea drinking.
Royals and honey sounds like a good cop duo, buddy cop movie.
I don't know what else we're going to talk about. What's going on with you guys? How are you?
I'm doing good. This is my second week of I'm going into my second week of being a single gal, so nothing has changed in that front. Still
okay.
Just trying to figure out life, how to feed myself, and I'm used to taking care of somebody all the time, so it's been weird, like just doing stuff for myself. So learning how to do all that. That's it. Just nothing new, really. Just the same day-to-day stuff. So.
Well, we're here for you.
I appreciate
exactly.
That is tough. Yeah, I guess, we're here for you for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of we were talking before we started recording. It's kind of a roller coaster when you go through things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we got you on a Friday night.
Yeah, you have all my Fridays.
Feeling good.
Yes.
For now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course.
You can understand why, me and Manny have time, but not you, not you. You have Friday night plans before too long.
No, I don't think so. I think I'll be in for a long while.
All right, cool. Well, we'll send you the contract.
Yeah. It's perfect. I'd rather just say I'm busy on Friday nights. I mean, it sounds better than like, oh yeah, I'm just wildly available for all of the things that nobody's asking me to do. So
yeah, Robbie's at United, or where'd he go? I was about to say
Universal.
United Kingdom, Universal.
Robbie got invited down. He's gonna do there's like a Corolla drinks event tomorrow night.
Oh, that's great.
They're having a pool party.
Can't wait to go. I'll be there.
Oh, that's so exciting.
You guys are so lucky. Yeah, you guys are so lucky to live, right there at the hub of the Corolla universe.
Yes, that's exciting. Manny, send videos or something. I want to see what's up. That's so exciting.
I will.
We were invited, but my life fell apart like 3 days after we were invited. So
your life is intact.
Shame.
Your life is intact.
Oh, you're right. My life is intact. I'm alive. I'm healthy. And
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'll make sure to record plenty of video and upload it to the Facebook group. And there you go. Live vicariously through the posts.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're going to be at their house. It's just wild to me.
I can't either. I've been looking forward to this ever since finding out. I'm just like over the moon, just stoked.
Oh, and you got to try the bubbles for me. I love bubbles the most. I want to try it. I'm excited to try it.
All right. For sure, man. I will.
What is it called? They have a Corolla Drinks
sparkling brosé.
Sparkling brosé, sparkling wine beverage. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I'm just I'm an old school, just Mangria, original Mangria kind of guy.
Okay.
You never tried the beer?
Because growing up in the, mid to late, like 2000, mid to 2000 teens era, growing up, that's all we had was Mangria. You kids nowadays, you got like 8 flavors of Mangria. Corolla Drinks now, there's just the original Mangria. It's good. I don't know. People rag on it, but it's like, it's good stuff. Put that stuff with some ice, man, and you're going to have a good time.
It is a good time and flavorful, delicious. Add a little 7-Up to it or a little sparkling water to like cut it a little bit because sometimes it's a little strong. But
yeah, you can let the ice melt a little bit.
Yeah.
Takes the edge off, but you're having a good time. They if it was legal, they could put on there like you're going to have too good a time. If it was legal to say something like that.
Yeah.
How about you, man? Okay, so Manny, you're partying up with the Corolla crew tomorrow.
Yeah, dude. Well, I got work in the morning, then I gotta, I'll knock that out quickly since it's a short route, and then head on over there.
What time are they filming? Maybe I'll jump on a flight.
2 to 7.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I get to. Interesting. Oh no.
Well, watch, she fucking shows up out of nowhere like, "What's up, y'all?"
Bring my swimsuit only.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
it's just a quick.
You should go tear it up.
Yeah, I think a round trip flight day of you look like a terrorist, so probably not for the best.
No, also aside from that, I've also just been a bit more busy, dedicating more time to practicing the drums. I signed up for this 30-day course through a website called Drumeo. They offer online course for drums, guitar, I think piano, and something else. I can't remember, but it's
that's pretty sweet. So you could take, I guess you could take lessons for just about anything online now, right?
Yeah, dude. All you got to do is apply yourself, and that's what I've had to really fight is following through on applying myself. It's just I'll find the motivation for doing it a few days, and then I'll kind of just like drop off quickly and take a few days off and get back to it. But it's just like I want to slowly just start working on being like just daily. So,
all right, let's dive into this because this kind of touches on something that happened to me this week.
Involving the drums too? I didn't know you started playing, man.
No, welcome. I got kicked out of a Facebook group. It's kind of your fault too for getting me on.
How? Okay.
Well, right. You got me on to the Breaking Points with Crystal and Cigar.
Right.
Cigar. What is that?
Yeah.
Is
that a pod? It's a news analysis podcast.
Okay.
Right. So I was like pretty good. But then I joined there's a Facebook group, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a Facebook group, and I joined that, and I was just kind of paying attention. It's just reading. So then I just started like getting more involved in the group, just and commenting,
as one will
contributing,
yeah,
correcting, guiding people. So yeah, I got kicked out. It's kind of like hurt a little bit because it was for, I don't even know what it was for. You know what I mean? Like I know if I was like really like going at somebody, like, I would admit that like, oh, okay, I had that coming. But it was kind of a surprise. And all of a sudden it was like page won't load, whatever the error is, like, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, what? Like, oh man, that's not right.
Chris, I have been kicked out of so many groups. Like this feeling that you're feeling where you're like,
Yeah.
you're like, what? It happened to me with the For Crying Out Loud group. Like,
Oh yeah.
I am a mom.
Yeah.
I mom harder than anyone moms. Like, I should be in that group. But they won't let me in.
Right.
Well, they let me in and then they kicked me right out. For nothing. I didn't even comment. Like, they just kicked me out.
Yeah.
I think because I'm friends with, some people.
Well, it's their loss.
Yeah. Thank you.
And it's important. Yeah. It's important to really like believe that 100%.
Yeah.
It is their loss. Like,
it is.
Like they could have learned so much more from you, from me.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and also like now, Manny, I'm like, I'm not sure if I can listen to this podcast anymore.
Like, really?
Like, these people are soft, man. People are soft. Now I'm thinking about these dudes. Like, I guess I shouldn't have argued with like the moderators. You know what I mean? Like, but I always think like that's safer, because it's like, would they do that? Like they just like kick, like kick you out just like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're pretty soft. But okay. So anyway, the argue, like the one of the posts that was, I'm not even again, I'm not sure, right? Because I was just being myself.
You know what it was?
No, I don't. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Like I was like, I thought I was kind of spreading it around pretty evenly. But
maybe that's what it was. They noticed that you were spreading it out too evenly. No, we can't have this kind of dissent.
That kind of feels weirder because it was like I didn't. I probably insulted somebody, but like whatever. Like I think when someone like spews nonsense at me, I'm like that's insulting. So whatever. But no, I didn't do that. But yeah, it is more. It's weird when it's like, man, they just didn't like my tone, like overall tone.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them was
maybe
like some. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Maybe they just don't understand me. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, they don't get like your character over the internet.
Yeah.
No, I think you're so funny. In the Adam Carolla podcast group, I think you're hilarious. You really make me laugh.
That's the only other group I really ever participate in,
Well, this group, this is like a group that reviews the news. Is that what you said?
It's a podcast of two, I guess journalists, news analysts. I'm not sure, like that's the same thing. When they're giving your opinion all the time, like you're not really a journalist. But you're just, kind of like consuming news that other people give and then giving your opinion about it.
Okay.
But there's just a podcast group about it, just like the Adam Carolla Facebook group,
Gotcha.
Or the Adam Carolla podcast Facebook group, the Assholes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the topic was one of them was that some guy shared an infographic, and it was like a millennials versus boomers.
Well, to the death or what?
No, it was an infographic, and the commentary was that yeah, that's kind of what I think that's kind of what they're like. There was a weird thing of resentment that there was like that it was trying to create or like point out, or
I bet it was a boomer that kicked you out.
No, I was kind of no, I don't. It could have been a boomer that's like taking the side of a millennial or something. I don't know, like, a boomer that had never had kids, who's still acting out. But no, it was like it was more about how the boomer generation had it really easy and the millennials have it much harder. And the infographic was basically a collection of statistics, financial statistics about, like wealth, like home ownership, debt, whatever, network, whatever, of like boomers when they were between 25 and 40 in like the 80s, 90s, whatever. And then millennials that are, I guess, in that age bracket now. And the finance, like the statistics, if they're true, are pretty stark, like it is different. Yeah. Like at that time, like boomers, like in that age group, they like owned more homes, whatnot, had more savings, whatever, maybe. But those are all like kind of, you can make stats to prove any point. You know what I mean? There could also be a bunch of stats about like, for certain racial groups. I don't think like being a boomer in the 80s and 90s was great, like certain disadvantages there. So like when you start breaking it down into groups and then to the individual, there really is no rhyme or reason. But yeah, I overall. Oh, sorry. Go. Yeah, but what's up? What do you think?
No. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I just to me, I kind of think it's like it's really hard to compare those two things, like who had it harder. The guy I was arguing with was like asking me like, he told me name three different ways that the boomer generation had it harder. But then he added on like, and none of those reasons can be war. I was like, okay. So I was like, oh, so this, I can't mention the fact that this generation went through a draft, like a mandatory draft and had to go fight a war, like you can't mention that part. Like, no. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you think about millennials, they were raised in a time of war as well.
Right. My point was like, there's a big difference between like watching it on TV and having to do nothing about it whatsoever because they're, other than sign up for the draft when you were 18, even though there was no draft, you just had to register,
right.
Like there's a little bit of a difference. I'm sorry. There is.
No.
And right. I was trying to steel man the millennial argument that's like, you got some points there because it's like, I don't know if I grew up in the middle, Gen X or whatever you call it. So I kind of grew up in the middle, so I can kind of see both sides of it.
Yeah.
Because, when I hit 25, like the internet was there. Like when, like my parents' generation hit that age, like they were still like, if you wanted to learn something, you had to go, you had to pay to go to like a college. You were going to go somewhere and like read a book.
When when my first child was born, all I had was a book. There was nothing. I remember my mother lived in San Francisco right when my daughter was born, 1995, and he said, Quanah, there are these cafes and you can go in and get on these computers and you can talk to people in China. And I was like, what? Like, it was just like so foreign, like never heard of it. It seemed so weird. Like, yeah. So
that in itself was like an amazing thing. Yeah. But it was also just the beginning because it was just a novelty. It's like, all right, that's incredible. But I don't know anybody in China, Yeah. But then it just, to the millennial generation, like, or even to my generation, like, it just like, then it just started like steamrolling, like started going fat, which has been, gotta admit, there's a lot of positives to it. Yeah. But to their generation, it's just like this technology, this like instant world of on-demand everything has like been normal.
Yeah.
It's like, and to their parents, you could blame them, but it's like, what were they supposed to do? Deprive their children of like these incredible things?
Yeah.
And like make them go farm? Like,
yeah.
What were they supposed to do?
I was guilty of it. Like, I remember like wanting my children to like read books and do all the things, but I also bought my son an iTouch because I don't know, like he was like 12 or something, and all of his friends had an iTouch, and I remember going in and like seeing that the search history was Jessica Alba's boobs, and I was like, oh my god, like this is.
Oh yeah.
My friend said she deemed it the I touch myself because he literally was like searching people's boobs.
Yeah, we've seen some hints of things like that, and I've been warning my wife, like,
oh yeah,
like this is just the beginning.
Well, he was 11 or 12 years old. It was just a lot. And then I had to like go have the conversation with him about like, I thought that maybe, stock, and like I didn't know how to have the conversation. It was just a lot. Kids are a lot. Good luck.
I think that like I wouldn't know how to describe us as parents because I'm older. My wife is I guess she's a millennial, technically. But we, like there's a generation of parents now that kind of knows the game a little bit. So it's not new. we know, like, we've been around long enough to like know like the greatness of it and the danger of it.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I think our generation of parents right now might have a pretty good handle on it with like young kids. Like my kids are 5 and 10.
right. Hopefully, yes.
Might have a good handle on like what's going on. Cause I do talk to my son a lot about like, you know, like how do these YouTubers make money? You know,
Yeah.
like, what's an algorithm? Like what are all these ads you're saying? Like how do like how it really works? Cause it's not like nowadays it's not, well, you buy $20 of lumber and you use your skills to build it into something that's worth $100. Like, you know,
Do you watch
say like, you know,
pitfalls? Are you in for the pitfalls? Like, they say that like children are targeted online, like for like predators and things like that. Are you aware of that? Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. There's really,
I
I
would
think
say,
instead of setting up barbed wire, you know, around everything and like there's always a fox will always slip through, you know, like so I think the best preparation is like teaching your kids early on that like,
yeah,
you know, without, you know, losing their sense of innocence, you know, like you teach them early on, like, no, there's foxes out there. Like this is nature.
we watched SVU. I mean, like,
Oh yeah, that's a good way. Yeah, that's like telling my son to watch documentaries, and
Yeah.
I'll eventually be telling my daughters like you need to watch SVU.
yeah,
There's some real sons of bitches out there.
it really is, and they need to know like it's a very
Yeah.
real thing that's happening. It's horrible.
Well, we're stupid, you know, like, you know, this is the human condition. We're also stupid because like, you know, it wasn't just a couple generations ago where kids were learning these hard lessons when they were 4, you know, like,
Right.
you know what I mean? They weren't waiting till they were like, you know, like 22 to
They say-
realize like it's a horrible world. Like they were learning at 4, like, oh, if you don't like, you know, if you don't close this hatch, son, your mom will get eaten by a bear. All right. It's that simple, son. And then like the next morning, like, you know, mom got eaten by a bear. And it's, you know, it's like, all right, son, we got to find a new mom now. You know, like nowadays, like we don't want to, like, we protect our kids from these lessons. And it's like, now I'm like, no, man, you got to like tell my son, like, look, buddy, like you have an email address. Like the reason your school gives you this Google Chromebook for free, you know, you're logged into it. They know exactly who you are. Like everything you search, everything you do on this computer is somewhere stored. And it's true, right? I mean, you know, it's true.
That is
You know,
true.
it's kind of like, you got to tell them that.
Yeah.
Just the same way, like I started, I was like, you know, you know, when you start eating Doritos, like you can't stop. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's what they do. Like
Sure.
that, there's a reason. I was like, there's a reason for that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not because they just taste so yummy and they're so good for you. Like, yeah, there's a you know, like,
It's trash.
yeah, like there's a reason. Like, so I just like, I'm not, and I don't say you don't ever touch those. I'm just saying, just know when you pick up a bag of Doritos, like,
Avoid them at all costs, I say.
yeah, I don't, you know, or I don't know. I'm not like that. I'm not like, if they want to, great. But if not, it's like having some Doritos every now and then is not, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But like, no, like when you just finished off a bag, like something's not going on. Something's not right. Like,
Well, they put addictive things in those things, just so you know.
sure. Yeah.
Like if you drink soda or if you drink diet soda, it makes you crave other horrible things. Like you cannot believe the stuff that is in our food. Like you just cannot believe it.
No, I believe it. I kind of, you know, with young kids, I think, you know, for obvious here, like I kind of like some of the things that work is like that kids don't like to be tricked.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like on that angle, like, you know, these people that make these foods and these commercials and these things and these YouTubers, they got a lot of tricks. I was pointing out how many like, I don't know what they call the edits when you're watching like a gamer YouTuber. But you can tell if they're good because like if like in a 30-second period there's like 400 jump cuts to fill in the gaps, like they're not, like they can't even string together 30 seconds of content.
Oh,
You know, because there's like an editor that's just making them like look quick and clever. And it's not, like they're recording this over a long time. So there's little things like that. Then you just kind of know. And it's like, maybe you avoid it, or maybe you get into the trickery business yourself. Whatever. I don't really want to make decisions for them. I just want them to kind of know and be informed.
I'm talking about like that there are actual predators, like people that like advertise to them. I saw a lady that was like her kid was watching a video and it was advertising to her stuff that was maybe a little bit inappropriate to the child. And that if the parents watched the same video, that like they weren't getting the same type of advertisements in between.
Yeah.
Like that they actually are like they can see that it's your child's eyes on the iPad and not your eyes on the iPad, and that they're targeting them differently. Like, how do you deal with those pitfalls? I was scared.
That's fucking creepy.
Yeah, Oprah said that like pedophiles are coming through your children's whatever. So like I can remember Kylie being on a laptop. Like I got her a laptop, but I can remember her making her use it like downstairs on the floor. Like she would be on there and I would just hear her friends and her talking all the time. But like I just felt like that was safer. Like she wasn't in her bedroom talking to a pedophile. Like I don't know.
Man, like, just I think I think having your kids like just have a healthy, like have a good relationship, like, it just like seems so simple, but having like a good, like solid, healthy relationship with your kids. Like, so a lot of people out there probably think they do, but they maybe don't, like they assume they do, but they don't.
Tell them, Chris,
so say engage more.
What about putting a little healthy fear into them though, that like that is actually a thing that's out there, not just like, pitfalls.
Yeah, I'd say with young kids, it's just a fine line. Like I don't, like my son's aware of like, there's, like killers or whatever. You don't want to like, I mean, again, it's like it's statistically very unlikely, really, like, but it's like you can make it go from like 0.001 to like 0.00, like with some very simple steps, you can make it nothing. I was talking about that, like like a real like terrible thing that happened to a young girl on a school bus, and like in the next town over, like really like some kids that play on my son's football team are from this town,
right?
And to me, it's like what I get from that whole story is not, oh my goodness, it's going to happen to my kids. Because again, it's statistically just so unlikely. Plus, plus the pit viper glasses and the NASCAR clothing.
No one's messing with
A lot of NASCAR clothing all the time. A lot of USA flags on clothing. Sends a message to any predators. Move on to the next target.
Yeah.
Move on to the easier. Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about?
How your kids are fun.
But like, what struck me about that whole thing was like making your kids aware of the incredible level of incompetence going on. Like I would tell my son, like a couple of years ago, I was like, because there was just a brief period in Texas schools where kids had to wear masks, could go to school, had to wear a mask. And I was like, I would tell them like, hey, today you're going to be taught science by some lady that is making you wear a mask. And we'd laugh about it. Be like, you can't like laugh at, like disrespect the teacher or anything like that, but just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Like that this person is like just reading you things out of a textbook and making you follow rules that they have nothing to do with the rules. They're just kind of making you do it. So just be aware of that. It doesn't mean that person care about you or isn't going to educate you, but
right.
They're not, like some, not every teacher is Mother Teresa and has your best interest at heart. But yeah, like, so that episode, like this is the superintendent, like there's a girl that was like being assaulted on a school bus for a year. It was on video. Like this is 2022. These are brand new school buses with cameras, video. It's all being stored in the fucking cloud. This was happening. Took a long time before any of the adults that were around that started to ask questions like, man, why is this kid always on the bus an extra 5 minutes? Like, why? Oh, it's weird. I wonder why this is. Then they figured it out. This guy got arrested, went to prison, got killed. You know, fell off 2 flights of stairs, whatever it was. Mysteriously just fell. Good. First of all, good.
Yeah.
But then they never bothered to watch the videos because it was just on video. Like so you're like, people are like, oh, hey, my kids are safe because there's video cameras on these school buses now. Oh my goodness. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh no, well, guess what? There's no one watching the videos. And the bus drivers that make, you know, whatever,
Right.
you know, they have figured out that, hey, no one's watching these tapes. How about that?
Horrible.
You know, so the one, you know, bus driver that's a pedo is just like, oh, this is incredible. Like, this is even better than it was before, because now they have this false sense of security because of this camera. So no one even bothers to ask.
Horrible.
You know, because all these grownups that are like standing outside the bus are, you know, feel safe because there's a camera doing their job in the bus that no one's watching. I mean, so anyway, I mean, I get pissed off, but it's just a stunning level of incompetence that people need to be aware of, and kids too, like by grownups. And this woman, this superintendent, this piece of garbage. I told you guys, she just got a raise from $250 a year to $310K a year.
That's so much money.
And she also got a $60,000 performance bonus this year in 2022. So this is a school administrator that, you know, taking $370,000 home this year. This is a very small town. I will tell you, like, this is a very small town. This is not a town with like dozens of schools. This is a town with, I think, less than 10 schools. That's like all 3 levels, like in the 10 to 12 range. Like, it's a really small town. Like, this lady's banking, and she cares more about that than she cares about your kids, flat out. And I try to, like, instill this in your kids, like, you know, like this whole, like, adults, like, man, there's a lot of adults that just don't care.
Yeah.
Would absolutely look the other way. Yeah, this superintendent, she urged the family to keep quiet about it.
You said that last week. It's so tough.
Yeah, I wonder if she had a $60,000 bonus. And this happened like a year ago. This happened like over a year ago. Yeah, she had a $60,000 bonus on the line, and she's telling the mom and telling them to kind of keep quiet about it. So they slapped a huge lawsuit because it's like, you know, like, you know, you go to your website and it's like, our number one priority is keeping your children safe. Like, and I'm always like, really? Shouldn't it be like educating the kids? Like, it always strikes me. That's why it strikes me, because like, that's literally what they'll say, that our number one priority is the safety of your children. And it's like, oh no, it's not.
Everybody wants you to believe that your kids, like you said, statistically, maybe not as, you know, dangerous or whatever, but they want people to be scared that their kids aren't safe.
What I like people to be scared about is that, like, there's the same level of shame, like shocking level mixture of like greed and incompetence going on at your local power plant too.
Everywhere.
At your local water filtration station. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like, wow, this is like a lady that's got like multiple degrees. Like, just like, the incompetence comes from never having anybody check these, like, even like never even giving the drivers like the idea that, hey, we're checking these tapes.
Right.
You know, like, because I think part of the scandal is like, they have it, like, it's all time, like, this is all tracked. Like, no one ever, even after they found out and he was arrested, they never even watched the tapes. So it's like all these assaults are documented on a server somewhere, you know, like, so it's like that, like the incompetence of like, and then she thought, like, she was just like, I think I can get away with this. Like, I think if we just keep it under the wraps, like, it'll never hit the big papers, because it's.
Has anybody let it leak, or because I mean, the article that you shared.
There's a couple websites local that are going at it. Another big problem, you know, you don't really have, if you live in kind of like outside of a major metropolitan area, like, local news coverage is like almost non-existent.
Right.
Like, this is like a weird, like, not-for-profit website that's actually like posting this, and like goes to the council members, like the board trustees, and is like asking them, like, what's going on? Like, what the hell are you guys doing here? There's like, I talk about like, how do you get your news? I go to Google News, like an aggregator, because I'm curious, like, what does the machine want to show me? And if I go to Google News, they know where I live, right? It's my email. Like, I'm like hiding. I'm like, they know where I am, and it says local news. And like, I click on that town because it's like, these are the towns that surround me. I click on that town, and you will not find an article about it. You find like BS articles about like, the valedictorian for this local high school is like going to Penn State.
Right.
And the volleyball coach at Penn State is very excited, like stuff like that. But you don't find, like, you got to dig to find like where there was an actual interview with one of the school board trustees that admitted that the announcement they made the week before about there being an independent investigation is actually just being, the independent investigation is just the law firm that's representing the school district is investigating it. So that's what they called an independent investigation. So it's like, so the parents are just like, what the hell? But it's like, no one's really paying attention except for like a very small number of people that it directly affects.
You should make a Facebook group, Chris. You should get people excited about it. Get them.
It's not my I mean, I'm sure there are. Yeah. Because like some of the mom, like I see some comments where it's like, yeah, I like heard about this on Facebook, that there was something that happened with a bus driver last year, but it's like, there's no coverage at all. So the only way they knew that it happened for real was when the family sued the district. So, and that hits the news, that gets reported on, and it's like, whoa, for what? This happened when? You did what? You did not like, hey, my kid was on that bus. You never bothered to tell us, like, you never even bothered to like mention the fact that our kid's bus driver like just got thrown off a 2-story building in prison because he's
it sounds like you're like carrying that around with you. Like, it sounds like you need to do something with it. Like you need to do something. You've told us about it twice now.
Yeah, I think just talking about it, like I mean, I think it's like making my own family aware, making my kids aware, like this is not like, this is in a nice area. Like, these people are well paid and they're incompetent and they're greedy and they're really, really stupid. Like, this lady's probably thinking like, all right, this is going to be rough, but I'll get a job at another, like, I'll get an assistant superintendent job at some other school district after this all blows over. And like, I'll be fine. Cause my my contract is solid. Like, they can't fire me without paying me out.
It's wild.
Even though I'm, terrible. And yeah, it's like really, just try to teach my kids, like, when they're of age, like, you don't want to like wreck their world, but it's like, you got to like really be careful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like all like pedos and stuff trying to like snatch in a van. It's like, just like, it's the dude.
Why not have them a little bit scared of it? A little bit healthy fear that is a thing that's real. I mean, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. With my son, it's one thing. With my girls, it might be different, well, I'm sure it will be different.
Of course.
Right. Sure.
You feel like you have to, like, it's happening. Like, those are real things that are happening.
It's like, like another, like, people in Jackson, Mississippi, the capital of Mississippi, like, they don't have clean water. Like that. Because there's just like insane levels of incompetence for decades of people making a lot of money with like big government pensions that have just done such a horrible job.
Everybody had to go to college and no one is working on our infrastructure. Nobody's training on our infrastructure. There's just the weirdest thing. Like, why?
Well, we created these systems where no one's accountable for anything.
Yeah.
Really, we really have like I work with government. I sell to government agencies, and it's like, you used to be able to deal with a person that would make a decision. And now it's like, oh no one makes any decisions. Everything is a committee. Everything is some kind of scoring system so that there's no, there's plenty of like, things you can do, but it's like, there's no one that's ever going to be accountable for anything.
Right.
So if I, win a bid and our company comes in, it just destroys everything. It's like, they're fine. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, I didn't hire these people. Like, who did? Well, oh, these 15 people in this committee. Like, oh, okay. Well, I guess, we really can't blame anybody.
And it's all just to spend money around. Like, it's just different little fingers.
Yeah, it's out of control.
Yeah, it really
That's
is.
another lesson too of my son. It's like, it's really just that, it's like,
yeah.
And it always has been to some degree, but millennials versus boomers. I thought that from this thread, this discussion, it was kind of what a weird thing was not like the differences, because of course there are differences in like generations like that far apart, but it was more like there was like a real feeling of resentment from the millennials in this thread towards the boomers, their parents. Kind of, or maybe their grandparents. It depends, it kind of depends, but like there's like a real like kind of like a resentment type thing. Like,
well, I mean,
we've had it really hard. Like these people had it easy. They got so much. Like,
yeah,
we've had it really hard. We don't have that much. Like,
well, I think
you're like a hair away from like, maybe we should just take their stuff. Like, it's just like a hair away from like,
Well, I mean, financially, I think it is different for millennials than it was. And maybe that's just overspending as a nation and as individuals, and everybody's buying little bits of this and that. And we have to get
different priorities, big time, different priorities.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the younger generation, millennials, maybe starting with millennials.
Yeah.
Even like to mine to some degree, because like all of a sudden you have all this tech overhead. You know what I mean? Like, there used to be this thing where like, oh, well, the average American works until Tuesday afternoon at 3:00 to pay Uncle Sam, like his income taxes. And it's like, well, and then now like the average American's like, well, now the average Americans are working till like Thursday morning to like cover all their tech.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like their computer they had to buy, like with the credit card, or their, high-speed internet bill.
Well,
their iPhone, their Verizon plan. It's like, damn, that's a huge kind of overhead just to keep up.
The internet is kind of like strewing that along. Like it's making people, like you see things, like you've talked about things that are advertised to you, the glasses, like you were probably thinking about your eyesight, and then you start getting all these ads for go get your eyes checked. Like people are actually being force fed things to buy, and the dopamine rush of like getting a package. It's like all of the things. It's different than it was back then. It's like constantly coming at you. You're being fed like, I need this, or my friend.
It's a different world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to steel man their argument. And that's why I was confused when I got kicked, because I was actually trying, like people are confused when you try to agree with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a crazy thing about our modern world. Maybe it's always been like, it's like you're trying to agree with them and they're like angry at you.
Yeah.
Because there's a slight, because the way you put it, or like a slight because of word, like you may have used a certain word that just makes them think, oh, he's on the other side. Like I was actually trying to say, like, these things are immeasurable, so it's like an interesting thing to talk about.
Yeah.
And because of the experiences of these generations, like what they had, what advantages, disadvantages they had. But it's like, in the end, it's like, I was kind of like, you got to admit, like in the end, it's really hard to like say like who had it harder. Like, what does that even mean?
Exactly.
And they were like, what do you mean it doesn't mean? Obviously the millennials had it harder. I was like, all I'm like boomer, like whoa, all I'm saying, all I'm trying to say is like, like I would like to know like difference between a navel orange in 2022 in my hand and like a navel orange that what it felt like in 1950. I would like that, but the truth is I can't. I can talk about it, I can think about it, I could like, like try to research it, like the average size of a navel orange and the, like how it's been modified, but like you can't actually do it.
Yeah.
You can't actually compare these things. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I was trying to agree with him and like kind of steel man the argument that, yeah, like millennials have grown up in kind of a wild world where they've been given all these things. They've got all these things coming at them. Like, I feel very blessed, like really lucky, like that I got to live the first 25 years of my life, like relatively like, like left alone.
Yeah.
But I've also been able to experience like the voluntarily like joining into it, and
Mhm.
like know the difference between the world before internet, world after internet,
Of course. Yeah.
you know. So I do kind of feel for younger generations that no, it was just always there. It
Yeah.
was like always there. Like, and it's like maybe
But
there's like a psychological thing where
there for millennials, I don't think, right? Like the technology, didn't they kind of come into it like in their 10, 11, 12s?
I feel like the internet,
Yeah,
when millennials came
I
of
would agree with that.
age, when millennials came of age and your parents gave you your first laptop, the internet was fully roaring.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
and
about wrong.
it was well, you know what I mean though, but it was the internet was like its own animal at that point. Now obviously it's like a whole nother animal, and
It
it like
had access to the masses. Like everybody didn't have it. Like, yes, it was up and running, but it wasn't in every single home. Like
it was well beyond like Prodigy, like dial-up Prodigy where I was.
yeah, gotcha.
Like instant messenger was a thing. Like you had instant, like it wasn't like, well, I grew up and like when I was in middle school, like high school, like we had a one phone line in our home.
Right.
Like, yeah, we got call waiting at one point. That was big,
Yeah.
but like, it wasn't really like, even if you had plans to talk to a friend on the phone that night or something like that, like your plans are easily derailed if your mom got a phone call from like your aunt or something like that. Like you had nothing. Like, so you just, I don't know, you just have a different mindset.
Yeah, maybe.
And you can get away from it, but there's a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of positives and negatives to that, because there could be some lonely kid that had like a terrible home life, but they had instant messenger. So it's like,
That's me.
yeah, there's it's like whole nother, it's like changed your life. But then there's other kids that like, they had a great home, but they, like ran to the wrong crowd and like they had instant messenger and,
Well, not
Actually, no, they're sending photos of feet.
like as an adult, like in recently, like I've leaned on my online community for stuff, not as a kid, but yeah, I could see how.
I mean, yeah, I cannot argue with the fact that there's so many positives to it.
Yeah.
But it just, it also lets like the other parts of humanity, like really just ramp up their game.
It makes me sad that places like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, that they don't make it safe, because they clearly can. Like if they were able to like stop any post that said anything about the vaccines, anything that they were able to stop, lets me know that they're able to stop things, and that you can still find child porn on Facebook or find child porn groups on Facebook. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
It's intentional that they're not trying to stop it, because they can. They've shown that they can. All the COVID warnings, our fact checkers said, or all of the things, it's shown me that it's possible that exists, and that they're not doing it means that they really just don't care about the children. Back to your original point.
Yeah, they don't care, or they don't care too.
Maybe.
Or they're just like incompetence, or it's like, well, you know what? Yeah, there's kind of a hole. There's a bug in the software, but
it's a stupider
as of right now, according to the project management schedule, I'm well ahead. I'm actually due for a bonus as of right now. So I'm not sure if I should let anybody know that there's this bug, like there's this hole in the software, because, once I get this bonus, then I can bring it up. We can put in the next, product cycle, but you got to teach your kids about this, because they are going to have these same feelings. They're humans. So they're going to have the feelings of greed, and like what's easier. And they're going to have that feeling at a job someday where it's like, really wanted to go home at 5 today. Really wanted to go home at 5. Really I'd like to just ignore this email. Because if I answer this email, like I'm here till 6:30, like you've got those feelings. And it's like, but if you're like a school administrator that's banking $400,000 a year, You're not allowed to have those feelings of like, man, this school bus driver, this is really going to ruin my weekend.
Exactly.
You know, like, but that's what, I mean, I really like try to like give credit to their humanity, because it's like, I know that's kind of where it comes from. I don't think it's like this lady's like, fuck these kids. I think this lady's like,
I'm tired, want to go home.
man, I got my new Teslas being delivered this weekend, and the electrician's late with my charging station, and I really don't have time for a nationwide scandal of a bus driver that's been, I mean, just think like, because in New York City, if this happened in New York City, those tapes would be leaked by now.
You think?
It would be nationwide news that tapes exist of this happening over a year in a school bus on video with high-tech stuff stored in the cloud. These are not like VHS recorders, you know,
right.
the tape that gets changed out. These are things that are like Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like no one ever like, and you know, then it'll come, you know, it would come out in New York City that the school district paid, you know, $500,000 for the system, but then no one ever watches any of the tapes.
Well, you would think the lawsuit would come out.
Maybe, you know, it's weird how these things will happen one place and it's nationwide news, and they'll happen somewhere else, and it can get covered up really fast.
That's the same with like when the white girls go missing. Like there's all kinds of girls that don't look like that girl that just the one that 2 years ago that everybody was talking about. Like,
oh man,
girls go missing that nobody talks about. Girls go missing every day, and mothers are frantic that their daughters were taken, and it's never one bit of news coverage.
Oh, you should have lived in my apartment back in the 90s with my roommates when they were glued to CNN watching the OJ trial.
Oh yeah.
And I'd walk by my way to work, be like, you know, like it's like I've had some stat like, you know, like 1,300 women that don't look like her disappear every year, get killed every year, you know, disappear. Yeah. You don't know anything about them, do you? I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, dick. You're like, yeah, it's weird. But yeah, it's really, yeah, that's strange to me, because I'm kind of a news critic, kind of amateur. Like, I've kind of noticed things like that. Like, wow, this is pretty bad. Like, this could be sensationalized, like really badly, you know. And then I also think like there's part of it is like, you know, like scandals in Texas like don't really play that well. But if it was Gavin Newsom, maybe like Fox News would be all over it.
Yeah.
I don't think Fox News wants to like, I think if this happened in California, Fox News got wind of it, they'd go with it. I'm being very honest. Like, I think if it happens in like a conservative area where it may be embarrassing to like Republicans, because it is like, this is a Republican area, you know. Right. It's a Republican state, of course, you know. They just kind of like let it go. It's just going to get settled. This family's going to get paid a ton of money. That's another thing too. Like all the money that the school district will have to pay out, like every penny of that that does not go to their family. It go back to their community.
Yeah.
Like this school administrator just cost the taxpayers of this small town, you know, will wind up costing the taxpayers of that town millions of dollars.
Do you think that like the fix to that is that somebody watches the tape? Somebody watches every tape from every bus, every mile that they roll?
No, I think that the fix is not great. Again, I say awareness. I think the fix is that people know about it. I think if I stop half the people on the street, maybe more in this neighborhood, like they don't know about this. They don't know this is happening.
Right.
They really don't know, you know. Because it will pop up on like the Google aggregator local news, but for like a day. Right. But then if no other agencies are coming up and picking up those stories and kind of amplifying it on the internet, then it just doesn't show up anymore. So people don't know about it. So it's like it's more awareness so that more people like, maybe the difference, like in my, you know, this may sound kind of hokey, but my difference in these, you know, my opinion and the difference in these things could be like something very small. it could just been like one parent lived somewhere else where this happened. And then that parent got motivated and went to the school board meeting and took her 1 minute, his or her, assuming it's a woman, but, took her 1 minute to go up there and be like, hey, I'm curious, do you have an officer that is assigned to watching these tapes?
Yeah.
So maybe it only happens twice, maybe it only happens for 6 months instead of a year, without them noticing. And then someone's like, yeah, we'll get back to you on that. And then they realize, oh shit, we got to assign someone to that.
Right.
And then it gets prevented. Like, so like in my.
But like, if you see like, I mean, I'm from California, so maybe our towns are bigger or the city that I'm from is bigger. But like, if you see the buses, when the buses pull out of schools, there's like 3 or 4 different buses going in different directions. And, who is watching 350 buses per district?
Well, I think
3 hours, sometimes they're picking up kids starting at 8:00 in the morning, not getting to school. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Most people are reasonable. So I think if the answer at the school board meeting was like, we have someone
I have a cheap solution,
and we have it, and it's kind of random, but we also like let the drivers, like we randomly select that.
Yeah.
Just like any business would do. Like, they're not going to like every time, they're going to screen every customer service call, but they're going to let their agents know that like, you may get randomly picked to be screened.
Yeah.
Or it might be that like just the awareness of the story makes a parent ask, hey, like if your bus driver ever tells you to like, like he needs you to stay after to help clean the bus, because that's what fucking happened. You need to tell mommy or daddy right away. It's the awareness of it. And, like every one person that hears it, or 10 or 100, or like that, like shares it, or 1,000, like to where like people, it could be as simple as that. Like the mom that day, just by chance saw the story, listened to Ennis Ranters podcast, and was like, hey, has your bus driver ever asked you to stay on the bus with no one else around to help him clean the bus?
Yeah.
Like just the awareness of it. And then maybe there's a rule that's like, hey, the last 2 kids off the bus, hold hands, just again to like awareness. And then let's light up this dark corner or something could happen.
Every stop, that make sure that every freaking kid gets off the damn bus that's supposed to get off the damn bus,
Yeah. Like, or just like, there's probably, I like to think that there are teachers that their job was like to be out there, right?
Yeah.
They can't get them on a bus because they got to stand there and make sure that like kids aren't running in the street or something. But like, they're wishing that they knew that this was a tactic, because they would have noticed a year ago and not a year later. They're wishing that they had heard about something like that, because maybe they wouldn't have been as trusting of the old, like the old white man that's driving the bus, like, who, could barely walk, but yeah. So I think just awareness for everything really, like that's, concern about kids' education is that they're just being taught like a lot of like just checklists and stuff. And like, they have no idea what's going on in the world.
That's why you got to make them watch SVU from an
early.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got to have your head on a swivel.
Yep.
Be aware of your surroundings, especially as a girl, you're raising daughters. You gotta keep.
Yeah. I know we kind of went off there on a dark subject, but we can talk about it more later on another episode. Like just kind of, I'm always fascinated by the differences of like people that grew up pre-internet, post-internet, and you know what I mean? Like just like when the internet's like before it existed, and then when it's really here.
Yeah.
Like my kids, like I said, like he's got a Gmail account for school, in like the first grade. That's so they're like, any games they play, any math things they do, like there's a file somewhere that's like, oh, this kid's smart, or this kid's dumb, or like there's someone, Yeah.
My kids had like a computer lab. They went once a week. Like even in high school, I think they just went once a week. It was, so yeah. And that's the millennial. So
like your communication is being tracked.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. Every game you play, like every game my son plays is basically online now. So like if Google wanted to know like how does my son play Madden, on his Xbox, like this, like there's a stat somewhere that says like, oh, this kid always runs right. Like or he always throws or on third and long, sorry, Fauna, but like on third and long, he always throws or he always runs or something like that. Like it's kind of interesting to think about like all that information that there is about you.
It's stored.
Yeah, I mean, for most people that information is going to get deleted or like thrown away, but it's just kind of like the potential of it is kind of it can be scary, it can be good, it's kind of fascinating either way.
It is indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Many.
I think I feel like I should be done talking.
Yeah, and also
yeah, you
wanted
agree?
to say that I agree, but also before we bring this episode home, I'm going to be doing the plugs and all that in post, and I'll just drop it in after the fact. So, trying out some new things. Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks for the intro music last week.
Oh yeah, you got it. Which one was it again? I forgot.
I know. I'm like, I wonder if it was last week or 2 weeks before at Alan Jackson, like 5 o'clock somewhere with Jimmy Buffett.
Oh yeah, no, that was last week.
For your son.
Yeah, that's funny.
I knew you'd get a kick out of that, so you're welcome.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man.
I like it.
Congratulations.
Go.
Did your Rams got wrecked last night, didn't they?
Fuck if I know, dude. I don't follow football.
Probably not. Yeah, you probably weren't. You're not a big Thursday night football viewer.
No, man. Not at all.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up. Quana, what else? You got anything else to say? Any shout outs? Any F-offs to, throw out there?
Shout out to Jane. Jane said, hey, Quana.
Oh, hey, Jane.
Yeah, shout out to Spadge. Shout out to Monkey's Uncle. Thanks for chatting it up with us.
It's just mean.
And Curl a Drink said, have fun tomorrow. I'm jealous.
We're anti-Spadge.
Yeah, I can't wait to. Thanks. I'll be talking about that all the time when I come back next week.
Nice.
Yeah, book as a guest or something.
All right, you got it, man.
Tell him Quana's here now.
So. Yeah, let's get Patrick, Lynette. Like, why don't we have the Curl of Drinks people on?
Oh wow! Well, we'll work on something and we'll satisfy you, Quana.
Patrick has all of those other podcasts that nobody ever watches. Do you guys know about? Like, he has another podcast show. They do a Below Deck podcast. They do a Bachelorette podcast.
I've heard a little bit about.
They're trending them out.
Yeah.
They're staying busy. That's dope.
They have
I didn't know that they had.
They have Patreons. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that they're doing.
Yeah. At least heard about that stuff. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up.
All right.
Andy will do his thing, and then we can maybe chat for a minute after we wrap up. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Get it on.
Get it on, everybody.
No choice.
Mandate. All right. I'll be right back. You gonna hang for a minute, or you guys gotta go?
I gotta go to the bathroom, but I'll be right back.
All right.
What up, Koala? Holy cow.
What up?
Shit. Just enjoying tonight's weather.
Ugh,
Oh, it's gonna be nice here.
what is the weather there?
We got some rain.
You did?
Oh, you got rain. Wow.
Yeah, I did. It's cool.
It's still like,
Welcome change to all the madness lately.
I was just reading Monkey's uncle's comments.
Oh yeah, he was going off tonight, man.
who is Monkey's uncle? Did we figure that out? Did you guys tell me?
No
I
idea.
know.
Who is it?
I believe it's Richie. He was a
He's
guest.
Santa Claus.
How does Richie know I'm crunchy?
I mean, you know, you don't
Maybe he's
don't
just
really
taking
do
a wild
you
guess.
hide it. I
Do
don't
I
know.
come off as crunchy?
I don't think so.
I think if you do yoga, it's
That-
assumed. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Like,
Sorry, if you say so.
yeah, most people aren't like yoga enthusiasts and also like eat a lot of Cool Ranch Doritos.
Oh my god, that's my favorite Dorito.
They're pretty good. They are pretty good. Like, yeah, you got to be honest with your kids too. Like, yeah, I understand. Doritos are really good. They taste really good.
I have my flight attendant. I told my flight attendant friend to bring me back some from when she goes to the UK because I know they taste different.
It's like either don't ever eat Doritos or invent something like Doritos.
Yeah.
And then buy an island.
Yeah, they're delicious.
If
you don't buy it though, you won't eat it. That's how I do it.
That's the plan.
So Monkey's uncle had thoughts about the boomers versus millennials.
What do you say?
The fact that they had to draft people for Korea and Vietnam shows that back then people had better options than enlisting.
Didn't they also draft for World War II? Or am I not thinking properly?
I think so, but they almost
were
didn't.
also more
They also
volunteer.
didn't have to because it was like, yeah, like you.
More patriotic back in the day.
Well, you know, with we had a smaller population and was more sparse.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's also part of like kind of the human animal. It's like, you know, like when people think they can blend in or like not be noticed, like they kind of act a certain way. But when you think you can and you're noticed, like they act a certain way. So a lot of these towns were like every other dude in the town was going, you couldn't not go.
I gotcha.
You know,
mob mentality. I hear what you're saying.
I mean, it is. It's like, you know, you say like technology, good, bad, maybe it's both. Mob mentality. It's kind of works both ways. Because sometimes the mob is like, hey, that volcano's about to blow. We should all get out of here. It's like, yes, mob. That sounds like
who are you?
That sounds like a great idea, mob. I agree with you, mob. And then sometimes the mob's like, that that guy over there looked at our women wrong. We should go get him. It's like, oh no, mob. No, mob. I don't think so, mob. This sounds like a bad idea.
Are the kids in bed, Chris?
Oh yeah. Boys asleep.
Is the wife in bed? Is the wife in bed?
She's probably getting ready to retire. So Friday nights is kind of hard to say. She might be kind of relaxing in her sleep, or might be watching one of her shows. And I usually take a little while to wind down. So
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice after your Coors Lights.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Manny.
What's up?
Manny?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Mute yourself.
My bad. I forgot to mute myself. I'm done. I'm sorry. That was so distracting.
What is this? He says, yo, Sterling Hinton, you're so convinced that your subjective opinions are objective fact that you would just butt it.
What?
I don't know. Monkey's Uncle's there's something
Still?
about Sterling Hinton. Oh, Monkey's Uncle's in that group. He's quoting me. Yeah.
Wow.
He must be. Yeah, that's it. I was like, that name sounds familiar. Yeah.
Wait, are you
Yeah,
sure?
like I'm just trying. I mean, like I might be wrong about things, but I think people should at least be honest about when they're like they're just saying their opinion. Like I'll just tell you what it's like. No, this is just what I think. That's all. Tell you why and all that, but I think it's good. But I'll like admit that this is an opinion.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're gonna like just tell me your opinion as if it's just like no, you're wrong. Like this is like.
And then they silenced you.
Well, I was trying to tell the guy like it's a good day. Like I don't really have time to fuck around. Like I don't have time to like waste my time talking to people that don't understand the difference between a fact and an opinion.
Yeah. And he told you for a real good day, he kicked you out of his group.
I don't know. I don't. It just kind of foggy because there was a few. Like I don't know. Like if enough time goes by, I'll just forget stuff I say.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That used to be my fear of getting kicked out of the Adam Carolla group. So it'd be a horrible day if that happened to me. Horrible.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. You got to be like, that's a good group because people like, you got to be a real, like, you got to be a persistent asshole in that group. Like you got to be terrible. Maybe this is not a good thing for the group.
Do you remember?
you gotta practically be a Nazi to get kicked out of the group. No, that's not that.
There was another group where the people would rage quit and go to like another ACS. Remember that there was like
there's two other groups. I'm in two other groups. Yeah, it's like weird. There's one's like a weird Bizarro World Adam Carolla Facebook group where it's like
those groups. What groups are they?
There's like an Adam Carolla Podcart.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I remember that.
And there's a grit that's like
that's the other one.
That one gets that one gets racist or racial. Yeah, that one gets weird sometimes.
Gets weird sometimes.
I know people like some of you. Yeah, some people have said they've been in it and they quit. It's like I can't quit because it's like, it's just like
you're just too fascinated or what?
Yeah, I am fast. I want to see people's id. I want to see people like I want to see people. I want to see people say things off the top of their head.
Your id wants to see other people's ids.
Yeah, man. Like maybe, yeah.
I see you.
And like high five them. Their ids. Ids be high fiving. Yeah, I do. Like, yeah, it's kind of fascinating because it's like, what's the alternative? I leave that group and I am unaware.
You're kicked out. It's over. That ship sailed.
Some of it, some of the people that post that, it's like that's pretty bad. But it's like I could leave it. I don't feel like by being in the group I'm promoting it. It's like I'm really more like kind of fat, like, wow, yeah, there are some Adam Carolla listeners that seem to be kind of racist assholes.
Yeah.
There's a couple. I mean, there's probably a few, from the View, like every group.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that, so you pretend it doesn't exist, I guess.
I think there's some in
they're there.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It was like really, like, I don't know. I see the whole rate. Like, Adam had a good guest a while back. There's just like these people are like, it just comes from stupidity, like stupidity, insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think in this day and age, it's like, if you're not like obviously, if you're a racist and you're not like trying to like drum up an army, like overthrow people, that's bad. Don't do that. But it's like, other than that, it's like, it's just kind of pathetic nowadays. Just pathetic.
Yeah.
True.
It really
You know what I mean? Like you've really you're kind of like, it's like like being a racist nowadays is like almost like refusing to read or get online. It's like refusing to get online or something. It's like, oh, you just don't want to participate. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
so you want to be hard-headed. I gotcha.
It's like you might have kids and they might like you, but eventually like your kids are going to fucking hate you. Like you're just not going to exist anymore.
Yeah.
So
those are the boomers. They seem to be stuck to it.
I don't know. Like the whole debate is also like boomers have an insane amount of wealth. Like they had all that when they were like 25 to 40. They still have a lot of that. They own a shit ton of Apple stock. Like that's a good thing about like all these boomers that are like, like watching Fox News, like, and have certain feelings about big tech and all that. It's like if they just went and looked at their 401ks and like all the mutual funds they own, it's like everything is like Apple, Google, Uber. Like they just own all these things, all these things.
The world starts spinning and they pass out.
They're gonna pass away, and they're gonna like leave all these things to their millennial like kids or grandkids. And then that's the moment I'm really interested in, like when there's like a huge shift. And it's like all of a sudden all these millennials that were like, now they're 50, but now they have a shitload of money.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have a condo. Now they have a condo that's worth like $1.2 million. And it's like, now they're like, this Mitt Romney guy seems like he's pretty sharp. I really like the things that Mitt Romney's talking about.
Oh my God.
And the cycle continues.
Yeah, like what's this Fox News they're talking about? Like, yeah.
Ugh. Yikes.
It's kind of, I don't like to think about it too much because I don't really like to generalize people like in those groups because it is so individual. But then again, the macro stats don't lie either. Like,
interesting how they're not having children, how they're like it's just the millennials are fascinating to me. Why do we call them millennials? Why don't we call them Generation Y? Like why do they get this special name? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had to kind of read up on this to be able to like talk about this more. I had to kind of read up on these labels.
Yeah.
Because again, I kind of reject labels. I mean, I reject political labels. I reject these kinds of things and these like general comparisons of people.
That's so Gen X of you.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is. Like that's part of it. Like just rejecting societal norms. I was definitely a latchkey. I was definitely a latchkey kid. Like the first generation of kids that were like, I just get home like I just had a key in my backpack.
My mom used to lock me up for days at a time. Like I was just on my own. I had to go to school. I had to come home from school.
There was a weird period where that was no one really cared about that. Now it's like, you did what? Like you'd have your, like CPS would be there in a heartbeat. In some places.
My grandma would kick us out of the house. All of my cousins lived there during the summer. She would kick us out of the house. We weren't even allowed to come back. Like, don't come back till the lights are on. Like, yeah.
I don't care where you go, just not here.
Yeah.
You remember that? Yeah, we were left alone quite a bit. Yeah, there's yeah.
And I'm an only child, so like I had nobody, like there was no one to talk to. So, I talk to myself a lot. I notice as an adult too, because there's just, you gotta have these animals.
Me too.
Yeah.
So out loud, or just like you're talking about an inner monologue?
Oh my God.
I sometimes catch myself doing it out loud if I think I'm alone.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the time it's just inner monologue. Sorry, Corna.
I talk to the animals out loud, but my inner monologue never stops. It's on all the time. Never, literally.
Yeah.
Never, ever stop. Ever. Ever.
Monkey's uncle, if you're still listening, can you try to get me back in that group, man? I got some scores. I got some scores to settle.
Sweet talk somebody, whoever you got to.
Chris, you need to get like a secondary account. You need a backup account.
Yeah, dude.
It was the first time I was tempted to, because I'm like, I'm not finished. But
you should really take your
like,
D-Rone alias to the next level, like the D-Rone account, Facebook account.
Oh man, if I came there with an apostrophe in my first name in that group, I think I'd get a lot more respect. Damn it!
All right, so I gotta start getting ready. I got work in the morning, so I'm gonna bounce.
All right, buddy. I guess we'll call it.
It's been a blast.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks a lot. Always good to see you.
Happy Friday.
Likewise.
Kiss your wife.
Take care.
Okay.
I'm still here. Kiss your wife.
I will do. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody. Good night.
Bye.